day 360 shelter in place. And so there we are in Hartford, Connecticut, at some hospital. I don't remember the name of it. And the doctor has tried to pop my shoulder back, pop it back into the joint, but it isn't working. So then he says, well, we gotta see x-rays. So they sent me to x-rays, which was so painful. As they're throwing like wedges underneath my shoulder, and I'm like in so much pain. And I come back, and the doctor says, well, while I wait for the x-rays, I have an idea. So he has me lay on my back, and he takes a couple sheets and he loops them around me so that he is securing me, immobilizing me, basically. And then he starts to try to rotate my arm, hoping it'll pop into the socket. It doesn't. He's like, and he's getting increasingly frustrated and like pissy and saying things like, God damn it, you know, like cursing under his breath. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, where's that nice nurse I met earlier? So he then leaves, and he comes back, and he has the x-rays. Come on. And he goes, oh, that explains it. Now, this is where you're going to learn some information about dislocated shoulders. There's basically actually four types of dislocated shoulders, but the fourth one is so rare, it's less than 1%. The first one is the most common dislocated shoulder. It's called anterior, and it's basically, you know, here's the socket, and here's your bone, and the bone just kind of pops out of the socket, and you just kind of rotate the arm. You just kind of pull at the arm, and the suction basically pulls it back in. 95% of all dislocated shoulders are anterior. Then there's the next 2 to 4%, 2% to 4%, and this is the posterior dislocated shoulder, which is mine. I'm a medical marvel, as we all know. And so it basically, posterior, backwards, right? Basically, the arm comes out of the socket and then gets pushed back and gets stuck on the lip of the, whatever that bone is called. The socket bone. I want to say like glenoid or something like that. So the humerus gets popped out, and the humerus gets stuck on the lip and is pushed backwards. And so most doctors have never seen a posterior dislocated shoulder. They've read about them in books, but practical knowledge of them, practical experience, hands-on experience, never. Most doctors will never. Then the third type of dislocated shoulder is called the inferior, which is downward. And it's like less than 1%. So those are the three types of dislocated shoulders. And so once he realized what it was, he said, okay, I know what we can do now. And so he leaves again. And then he comes back, and he's got 2 more doctors with him. Now it's like the Three Stooges show, for crying out loud. So they, again, I'm immobilized. One of them gets on top of me, and he's basically holding my waist down, and like trying to hold my chest down. The other guy is down at the end of the journey, holding my legs, so I guess kick, I don't know. And then the first doctor, he is now holding my arm outstretched, and he takes his foot and he puts it in my armpit, the armpit of the dislocated shoulder, by the way, and starts pulling my arm. I am screaming in pain. Mr. Diso is in the room with me, and he looks away. He's like, oh my god, that looks so painful. I can't look at this. And they just keep pulling my arm, and he's like, god damn it, freaking arm. And I'm like, and finally I go, wait a minute. Has anybody called my mother? And they all stop and stare at me, and they go, no. I should call my mother now. And so they disappear to go call her. And that's to be continued.